No drops, no initial rotations, all about the end game action. But if you want to check out the drops and how this player rotates, you can look on the in-game standings and follow all of your own players and check their matches, as we're on board here with Lowless, who picks up RNG Urklik with a real quick elim and then a rift to go to get out.
I think we now know that one reigns supreme over the other in the eyes of a lot of these players. Chapix does not have that combat shotgun, but does hit the close range shot with the tack to get the elimination. Was it 2 more for top 5 and then 3 more for first place?
Yeah, like you said, 10 cumulative there, and then each elim being a point. And we've seen particularly every single week, the qualifying scores, the scores in order to play on Sunday, have gone up to the point where in Europe, it's up to being like, I think 65, 66 points is what the solo bar is. So these guys desperately need as many as possible. Lowless right now, great high ground control with that combat shotgun, making soup out of soup there.
This is really the most powerful.
Jorge Q as Powa picks up Varrock. So this is a really stacked lobby actually right now as Poppy Freddy pushes into the blocks and picks up snooze lose. Well, if you snooze, you lose, as Freddy picks up a ton of utility right there.
Yeah, and instead of taking some storm damage, Lowless has been just sitting on this height the entire time. It's a big difference now, down to just 4 builds. Mongrel. I love how Lowless is conserving these builds right now. Staying just 1 level above. It looks like now the time has come for him to drop on down, look for these fights. 4 players left. Poppy Freddy on the low ground with the most HP. Lowless on height, making sure to stay inside the zone for as long as possible. Tripper does go down. 3 players left. It's time to make the play. Freddy begins to build on up. Has to block with the roof. Trying to challenge Chapix. The storm ticking. There it goes. But Chapix doesn't get the elimination credit. Lowless goes down. They didn't do any damage to each other. And because of it, Lowless gets the free win. High ground comes out on top yet again. And Zuzo just trying to gatekeep the edge of the zone, but unfortunately, Hand gonna be forced, gonna have to push on out. Did hear a launch pad just used, and immediately beams AM. Will get shot out almost instantly, so only gets 6 health off of it for the moment.
Great job catching himself, but he's right on top of a player. Oh, can he get the med kit? No, not able to grab that or the mats, so he's still down to 35 mats, but a great disengage onto the backside of the zone, and he catches Oscar right as he goes in the rift. That was huge, and it puts him into the top 15.
And
massive
it's going up a mountain, and it's going up a mountain. Literally a game-saving moment for Frederick right there. Zuzo still building towards that high ground. You see Alex inside the ball, the last vehicle left in play. It's Holly alongside Fishstick Alex. We're going to drop down to the low ground. Frederick dropping as well. Still 7 players left.
Yep, we have Fredder in the bottom right, Zuzo in the top right on the high ground. He has Giuseppe just below him on the wide. As you see, Frederick pick up a quick and clean double that also puts him into the top 5. So 4-point swing there for Frederick as he continues to work down, has all the shields he could possibly ask for now, as Zuzo is forced to waterfall down, but only on 8 builds, as Frederick picks up Fishstick Alex as well. And then he also gets Hawaii 14 for him right now, Courage.
500 metal, and just like that, it's time to go right on through the floor. 1 versus 1, the 15th elim. Will he be able to look up and get some shots down range in time? Doesn't appear so.
No, and it looks like we're just going to reset Zuzo, trying to maintain his high ground and get over to that next one. He knows he doesn't have a way to get back over there, and he doesn't have the builds either to maintain it. That was his last build. He has to go down and challenge. He has to hit the shots. Will he find it? Fredder, can you close it out, and can you clutch it? He does. Fredder jumps back out from underneath, hits the shot. 16 elims, victory royale, 26 points. Well done, lad.
How
oh, no, I apologize. That was the duo one for last week. The last solos was 66, 65, and 2 victory royales, put you through.
It is just so insane how stacked it is, and how the weeks have gone on, how much more competitive it's all become, because now people have been watching, people have been learning, wanting to get in, wanting to compete. More and more people have been qualifying for Champions League to be able to compete. It's insane.
But in reality here, he's getting really thin on mats, already down to max metal, using 4 per on each one of these. Doesn't have the launch pad to get out, so instead he's going to look to push, and he does. Finds Spastic and manages to get only the wood there, but gets 500 of it.
Look at the pathing. Recognizing that a wall couldn't be placed there, and hits the rift as well. Down to just 20 actual health, and if he got dropped from right here, he would go down, but there you go. That's all he needed. A quick little HP tick on up. Everyone challenged for the high ground at the moment.
Yeah, and his reactive builds are so good to just make sure he's throwing something in the way, actually boxing off. Seems to have an idea now as we're inside the top 10. Drops the player double, and he put the ramp into place.
Oh
My Lord. Bad sniper. Come on, man.
That's
you can't do him like that.
And the quick shot on the Twins. 9 eliminations, 6 players left. 70 total materials left. The challenge comes in. Nice shots to cut him down. Will he be able to get time to pop a mini? It does appear so. In these late game moments, you've got to build farther into the zone to be able to pop those minis / big shields, and I love that. Actually pops a second as well. Even though it only gave him 5 more shield, every bit counts. While all the fight is going up above, Revenge is able to pop enough shields to get back to full health.
Yeah, and bad sniper there. Looked like he just picked up another trap elim, but now we're going to be pinned right up against the side of Polar. And you see, nobody wanted to do that, so everyone going aggro. Ctox drops down to Revenge, picks him up there, but bad sniper trying to find the RPG.
That's what I was worried about!
Out of nowhere, and he was worried. Courage!
What did I tell you?
You called it, you're right.
I'm telling you, in these high, tense arena moments,
And then not being able to double back for his own builds.
yeah, and so he's like now just lower on mats. Thankfully, does get that elimination onto Minzo, but still. Will someone drop on our screen?
Oh, Soren is on literally no HP, and Zaggy goes down right there, and Meta gets picked up, and here's that combat shotgun. You can see him aiming down sights the entire, but now we have Lenuf, who qualified with Quentin in the last game there. Great Kuna stare replace into the edit. Bala would be proud, but then you can't lose control, and he says, don't need control, I'm just going straight forward, into the box, into your ramp, doesn't matter. High five, here's my shotgun.
Earns all the materials needed, engages, and gets the elimination that they so desired.
And also gets him into the top 15 with a great power position here on the edge of the zone. Nobody is near his side, which means he can only cover one direction, and then just look back and range shots on these guys. I mean, look at him. Every second he gets, he's checking the side, aiming down sights with a combat shotgun, and ripping through people. There's Crazy K going down outside of the top 10 now. Astro is desperately, he got it. He got the edge of it. That player will be coming down. Parasec, if he doesn't have anything, and he doesn't, he falls, and Astro finds him anyway with a nice little alley-oop into the top 5.
And that was Astro's way of claiming the high ground. And now look, Astro on the height, shoots down on one, spraying down on another now with the combat shotgun. 4 players left, top 5 earned. Will he get the last placement points? Right now that he's got the full advantage in these final moments. Lenuf, 7 elims to this point. It's all dropping on in. The challenge comes through. Lenuf versus Astro. HP about similar on both sides. Slight edge to Astro. Lenuf, shots coming in. Can't connect with the first 2. Astro with just 1 HP wins the game, earns the final points. There are powerful weapons out there in the history of online entertainment. Thor's hammer, the Infinity Blade.
Doubling back to semi-auto. When it was introduced, it was one of my favorite weapons because I have a hard time with the projectile, just tracking it through, and I like not having to reload and take it out. A pick potential weapon, but you almost get more DPS out of an AR, so not really sure what his game plan is with that there.
I would rather have a bottle of Windex and a roll of paper towels.
With a great position and great angles, covered from all sides despite being in the center of that zone. And you can see the scoring format over in the top right. Top 25 is 3 points. Next one, top 15, grants you 2 more. Top 5 is an additional 2, and then the Victor Royale gets 10 as Lolas pops that Shadow Bomb and gets on jumping. Does get ownership of the wall next door, but is getting pressured a little bit too much. Not sure if that player recognizes it, and instead is going to opt to just be a little defensive and pop on out for him again. Snooze lose, caught snoozing, picked up inside the top 25. Opts to drop down, catches himself with the Shadow Bomb, so no fall damage there. Also waits as long as possible, so he'll have as much time as he gets over in the other player's box. And what a great box fight between him and Markle.
I don't think Lolas meant to land there. A close range, awkward fight end in his favor.
Now, he'd see there as opting to leave Shadow Bombs. This is the first time I've seen players actually do this and just left a Shadow Bomb in favor of carrying this rocket launcher and the heavy snipe combo. So
gives you so many more chances to catch your breath in these awkward moments. But with the way that the zone is going, oh man, he's gonna have to push through a lot of builds right here, Sundown. A lot of builds.
That 180 was so good. I was almost like questioning, I'm like, why is he binds one onto Chris? You have Lolas in the bottom right, Chris in your top right, popping Freddy, and he'd see in between as Chris picks up Freddy and pushes into the top 3.
Just to get the height for the moment. Wait, so Lolas is just gonna play the low ground while these other 2 fight for height. It's now Chris all the way up top, Lolas on the bottom.
And just go for a heal out, put the campfire out, and all be good. Lolas backs off, puts the campfire down, and they're just gonna fight it out. They fight it out in the box, and Lolas takes it away. Doesn't matter. No need for a heal off. Just push your opponent anyway. Why not?
Of everyone we've been watching in these games, 1 stink out, 2 stinks out, already 20 plus damage done. Going to continue to go. Another tick, another tick, another tick. Falcon down.
So one thing I will note there that Dark didn't do fantastically, and how they find their drop zones, how they go over, and how they're able to push an aggro. He knows he can take advantage of players like that Carl 7F going down.
Part of the points, you know, from what we saw, 50-point lobbies. These are definitely very solid players, as you mentioned. Golly, now up to 100 limbs. Ooh, quick reaction time, just deciding to build that player in the zone. It says, peace, I'll redeploy away. And for all that, only takes 22 damage. Not too bad.
Down there as Dark does find the Elam on to Dart. The 7SSK7 using that new tactical assault rifle to just spray shots down. Zane gets picked up as we get closer to the top 5, and we've moved over the water as well. So getting the rotation out here.
Here's a heavy sniper go off. You got to expect someone's in someone's box and says, you know what? Hey, that sounds like a great idea. I'll do the same as Mokar. Now cut down, and 7SSK doesn't skip a beat. Right back to the high ground.
Straight up, and now you have Kali on the mid ground. Gen2 just above ultimate low, and then Screamy down there. And the Virtus Pro player has so much more than all of these guys in terms of effective health, in terms of mats. Working top down, you have 7SSK7 in your bottom right, Vex and Screamy in your top right, but picks up an Elam there, which actually gives Screamy the high ground right as 7SSK7 drops down to challenge. So Screamy now is going to be the one who dictates, blocking him off. Again, not able to find the edit back out. Can't find the peak shots. He drops down and instead catches back-to-back headshots. Victory route going over, and he says, hey, I shoot my shot.
Someone waiting and peeking through it, looking for an elimination.
Yeah, and we saw Mr. Savage really start to revolutionize that there. As Astro waits on the backside of the storm until the last second, checks to see if anybody launch pads shadow bombs to the far side, and then turns back, gets an Elam, gets a second Elam, and then gets all of that utility rift to go, and a launch pad, and more shadow bombs. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, Astro's going to fly away, and
as many points as possible as we get close to the top 15 now, and there it is. Blue finds Orgage, and he finds Flamin right away, looking right on the backside of the storm. That's what we talk about, why it's a power position. Everyone is desperately trying to run away from that 10 tick a second storm right there.
Preemptively lands 1 build above, takes control of it right away. Brilliant shots of the combat shotgun. Top 6 now. Torque still continuing to move, sees 1 player above. The spray comes in, and bro, the combat shotgun, with how pinpoint the accuracy is and how good these players are at tracking opponents, it is absolutely the best weapon for shooting players out of the sky.
It's so good right there, but you see Blue picks up 2 in the storm
as
Torque then picks him back over, so now you have Torque in your top right.
These builds are, thankfully, does find a little bit of an opening to continue to walk on through.
You can't miss these combo swings. Now we talk about stressful moments.
Oh, he's got 4 campfires! Oh. Torque has 4
He's
campfires! Oh, it is done!
Hey, you got any marshmallows?
Oh, it is done!
Any chocolate? Maybe a graham cracker
goodness.
or 2?
This man just sat in the storm for 8 minutes, filed his damn taxes, and ordered a reservation for 2 with a nice date tonight. Jesus Christmas.
Is incredible. Now, the standings, as you see here on the screen, Lowless, one player we saw multiple times, has played only 4 of his games, and I don't know, hopefully people are seeing this. This is 4 victory royales and 4 games played. That's a 100% win rate thus far, and literally the place right below him, 10 games played and only 1 victory royale. The rate at which players are playing these games definitely shows that there's a big difference here. 67 points all the way up at the top there in the top 10, finishing out at 54. Not a massive spread, and you still have a ton of games left to play across the board here for a lot of these players. Only 4 though, that's 6 left